Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good morning.
All right, we are here.
Yeah, we are here. This is exciting.
I love it. Another week, a new look.
Another week, a new look. I know I'm in a different part of my apartment. No judgment.
No, your different corner is better than my background. Everyone
different
sees.
corner. Exactly. Ooh, let's see if we can get a little bit closer. We've got Kelsey in the background, by the way. Do you mind putting us a little bit closer? Yeah. Oh, hey, not that close. There we go. Now we're good. Awesome. Oh, well, good morning, everyone. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I feel good this morning. I was telling people backstage, my mom happened to fall on this show watching it on YouTube, and she's Venezuelan and said, "You look a little bit swollen, Papi. You need to work out." So I started to work out. So if she sees this, Mom, I'm on it. Okay, we're gonna get camera ready.
Wait, I have a request. Can you just do the entire show in that accent?
In the Spanish accents, no problem. No problem.
This is amazing. So, by the way, why don't we start with our roll call? Hello, good morning. Ooh, Miguel. Miguel, you're in South Florida joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, let us know where you're from. And while you're doing that, we got to give a shout out to Sarah, who was just awarded the Mover and Shaker Award by the International Hospitality Institute. That's a big deal, Sarah. Congratulations.
That is a mover and shaker.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. By the way, that was such a pleasant surprise. Truthfully, it was just like I noticed it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. So that was really nice.
Well deserved. You definitely deserve it. Love seeing
Antonio.
Ola from Miami, South Beach.
Hola.
Good to see you, Antonio. We got Preston in the house.
Wow. Ooh, Corey Maria in
Mankato, Minnesota.
Mankato, probably. Sorry, we're gonna go through that.
Yeah. Alexandra, great to see you again this week. I love that you're joining us every week.
Yeah, everybody. Oh my gosh, so sweet. Let us know where you're joining us from. This is always so cool. I know every week we've just got people from all around the country, which is just exciting. Ooh, Portugal.
Christopher, welcome. Ariel's here. Man, we got a lot of great people watching.
I'm going to be going to Portugal next year. Scotland. Yes. Oh, you guys are so awesome. This is great. It's so exciting to see.
Yeah, now we got to deliver. We got to deliver for them today.
Ooh, Chicago.
Yes. We got my cousin from Chicago.
Oh my gosh, I love that your cousin joined.
Zafrane. You see, we got the whole everybody in here.
This is neat. Anyway, so as you guys are tuning in, let us know where you're joining from. We'll totally give you a shout out. I love that. Love that you're taking the time out and joining us from all parts of the world. So it's awesome and exciting. But should we go ahead and dive into today's conversation?
I think we should. Should we ring the bell?
Sure. Oh, new feature.
We got our hotel bells out.
New feature, guys. Oh gosh. You're going to love
we found out Sarah and I both have hotel bells on our desk for some strange reason. We didn't know till just right before we got on.
Some strange reason. We both work in hospitality. What was funny is you actually had the bell and I was like, oh, wait. And I literally had to just dig right here and poof, a bell.
It triggered you. I saw that concierge. All of a sudden you popped up. You're like, I got to go somewhere.
I got to go. I got to go. The bell's ringing. Wow. Somebody clearly had their caffeine this morning.
Both of us. We're ready. Biscayne coffee. And I don't know what you're drinking over there, but we're ready to go.
We don't need to talk about it. It's okay. But it is legal. So, so actually, wait, quick thing about the bell before we move on to today's topic. And curious, by the way, if you are tuning in and you work at a hotel that's old school that has a bell, let us know if there's like a code for your bell. So Steve, did you know, like when I worked at a hotel, there was a code, like one bell would call the page, two, like one ding. I'm not going to ding for everybody. 2 dings would call the bellman. And then 3 dings would call our house car driver.
Wow. I did not know that.
Oh, yes.
I like it.
So,
car, please.
Yes. Car, please. And then, over would come Max. You need car. Yes, Max, we do. We need the car. Can you please take them to CVS? Okay. Oh my gosh. Love
Shout out
Max.
to Max, and we see got some new people joining. Jordy, thanks for joining. Malcolm and
Yes.
Bernice, you're seeing our banter before we hop into some
Woo,
fun topics
Tanzania.
today.
Love that. I know we're doing a little bit of banter. Hopefully you guys enjoy. That again, it's the caffeine talking. Well, let's go ahead and talk about, we've got a lot of topics here. Just interesting things that are going on in the industry. So the one big thing, IHG just did their quarterly sort of recap, and they found that their RevPAR is up 12.8, so almost 13% over 2019.
Mhm.
This is interesting. I mean, we're living in a different era than like pre-pandemic. Um,
Yes.
it's fascinating just seeing the growth in different ways, and just like how people have really doubled down as far as the consumer side, how they've really just doubled down on travel, and they're willing to pay more.
Yeah. And what was interesting and seeing, I dove a little deeper into it and seeing the interview by the CEO of IHG.
Mhm.
And he said, look, groups are what's going to are pushing it. So they're up
Yeah.
10.5% in group bookings. So it's great to see companies really investing in travel and doing big events. And you
Mhm.
travel around to see all these big conventions, and so do I. So it's amazing to see that. I feel like they're bigger and better than they were even before the pandemic.
Oh, totally, totally. And it's interesting because it's across the board, by the way. I mean, IHG just came out just because the numbers were so strong, but Marriott as well also reported pretty high increase. I think this was a little bit less. It was more like 10.5. But it's fascinating. And then also when you were talking about this group business, the different markets that they were talking about. So top markets that have nearly fully recovered since, or basic, I hate using that word at this point, but you know what we're talking about,
Yes.
since 2019, like the big ones like Austin, Nashville, Denver, all fantastic cities and amazing, and they've all exceeded 2019 levels.
Yeah, and if
So
you're listening now live, give us a little thumbs up emoji if you're seeing that at your hotel. We'd love to see what's going around because we have so many countries here that if you let us know, it'd be interesting to see a quick poll, like a thumbs up or a yes that your business is up or down. Let us know.
yeah,
But
let us know. And by
but
the
what
way,
he
we had
yeah,
a
go ahead.
couple of people join us late. Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go
I want to
ahead.
give a little bit of love for some people that joined us late. Lonnie joined us. We got, yes, Lonnie from South Florida as well. Brian McKenzie from Amsterdam. Jim over the hill in the valley. I'll join you one day. It's
Jeremy's
like,
back again.
I
It's
know
good to see you again,
Jeremy from
Jeremy.
Israel. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for joining us. So sorry. I just want to do a shout out to
Yeah.
all these amazing people.
But what was interesting too was that he had said that revenge travel is done. So all the people who had saved up on travel and were willing to spend crazy amounts on whatever their dream trip was has
Yeah.
slowed down. And
Uh-huh.
so now it's more back to like
Bleisure.
bleisure and really those business bookings that like you and I know when you have those
Yeah,
big conventions in, it's a little bit easier to staff because you know how many people are going to be there, you know what
totally.
to expect.
Totally.
So I know a lot of my friends in the hotels are liking that these groups are back because they can plan better, especially that when they're short staffed, like they know
Yeah.
what to prepare for.
Oh, 100%. It's all about forecasting. And I mean,
Mhm.
that's also been a huge element to, or a huge challenge to the staffing issue. Yes, we've already been short staffed, but then when eh, basically the booking window shortened so much, it was so hard to properly forecast and arguably properly staff, depending on your
Mhm.
destination and the location.
No.
Um,
A lot of
so
times we would have to overstaff because you didn't know what was going to come because it was booking like same day for that day on certain
yeah,
weekends,
yeah,
especially in our
definitely.
market down here in Miami and South Beach.
Yeah. Ooh, I gotta come visit. Maybe I will in December. Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah, you come
Uh,
on down.
yeah. So the next topic that we had was Hyatt basically announced that they're kind of creating a new well-being collective of global properties. And we know, I mean, obviously, wellness travel, not a new concept, not new that we're even seeing different brands kind of lean into that. But what was interesting about this is that they're kind of doing this Wellbeing Collective, and it's a set of global properties really tailored to well-being experiences. And they've got over 30 properties right now, and then they plan to extend in 2024. Interesting is that they found a global business traveler report found that 93% of corporate travel managers report that most employees take advantage of health and wellness services, at least even if occasionally while traveling. So health and wellness is definitely on everybody's mind.
Yeah, and for listeners out there, it's not the health and wellness. I guess they're doing yoga and some other things, but they have some cool stuff happening
Yeah.
at some of these properties. Like an example, at the Miraval Berkshires Resort and Spa, they're teaching their guests how to start a fire from scratch.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to learn that. Like if I got stuck out there like Tom Hanks in Castaway, could I start my own fire? And like the Hyatt Regency in Lost Pines Resort and Spa is making sure they're taking people out into the community. They're learning about the local community. They're helping the locals as well. So it's really about well-being for your soul, for learning new things, as growing as a person. So I'm curious to see how that grows. And I would love to see more hotels do this. It's not anything that's rocket science to start.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, no, what's interesting, funny, because now that actually just reminded me, way back when in 2019, I went to Puerto Rico with the groups and meeting teams over at Hilton. And it was interesting because that's not normally a group that would have me come to a location, but we did that, and it was fascinating because they were really breaking down their health and wellness offerings that they were offering specifically for groups, because there are actually a lot of conferences and conventions that happen in Puerto Rico, interestingly enough. And so they were just showing like all the different things that they offer, from yoga classes to the different healthier food offerings. So all of their menus have different, whether it's more vegetarian options or just healthier options in general. It doesn't have to be vegetarian, doesn't have to be healthy.
Yes, you can be healthy without being vegetarian. Are you vegetarian?
I am.
You are.
I am.
I learned something new today.
I am. Yes, I am. I started dabbling in fish this past year, and I still feel guilty when I eat it. But that's a story for another podcast. The internal struggles of Sarah when she goes out for sushi. But it's great to see, again, wellness has just been on the mind of all of these hoteliers for so long, but I like it. Oh, have you also noticed this? I have recently, because I'm actually, despite what my Instagram says, I am not a big drinker. And there's been a lot of non-alcoholic options. Have you found that?
I see it popping up on my feed a lot. I am not that person. However, I like my glass of wine every evening. Is a lot of my friends have gone sober. Like they're like, I'm not drinking anymore. It's just I feel better. And they're doing a lot of this, and they're from the alcohol business. So these people who are selling spirits are now saying no longer drink. Same thing with bartenders. A lot of bartenders saying I no longer drink, but I'll make sure I know how to make it for you. So I'm really happy to see a lot of people living that healthier lifestyle, because you can fall into that trap in hospitality.
100%.
Right? And so I like that they're pushing not only for their guests, but they're making it, more normal to say, hey, I'm going to focus on my well-being and growing as a person, whether it's through new activities, through working out your body, through spirituality, through whatever it might be. I'm happy to see that a lot of these places are doing it. So kudos to Hyatt for pushing. I hope a lot of other hotels jump in there.
Yeah, I know. Again, it is really interesting. I mean, I'm seeing so many mocktail options on menus. I'm that weirdo that gets super excited. So by the way, the next time you guys see a bunch of drinks in my photos on Instagram,
mocktails.
They're either mocktails. They are. Well, because if I'm working, I'm definitely like, don't waste your alcohol on this drink. It's like for a photo. Like that's how honest I am.
Yeah,
or I order it, and then whoever I'm with, they end up drinking it.
And I say, look, some people are trying to get you to fall off the wagon here. Jim is saying that you need to fall off the wagon and go for an In-N-Out burger.
Whoa, fall off the. I know, right? How boring am I? The vegetarian that doesn't drink and does yoga. I haven't done yoga in a while, but all right, let's get back to the.
But Kat say that there's real growth in no and low alcohol offerings now. So she recommends looking out at Everleaf aperitif.
Oh, interesting.
All right, Kat, we're going to check that out. I love discovering new things. I I write about it pretty often on what I'm sipping. So you can see that in the newsletter I write. So
What I'm sipping.
what I'm sipping this month.
Oh, Sarah's just having energy drinks. So, the next topic here was about MGM. So, as we all heard a couple weeks back, that
We talked about it.
yeah, we talked about it. How Vegas, a couple of their big hotels, were basically held hostage with their cyber attacks, and now they are handing out vouchers for the victims of the cyber attacks. What I was curious, did you see like how much any of that was by any chance?
They didn't say.
It
So
did.
that's what I'm curious about, right? So it's for their loyalty members
Yeah.
and the people that are, fans and I guess the diehard clients are getting some kind of voucher or points.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't really say what it was. And you can see that the news articles reached out. I reached out to some people that I knew on LinkedIn, but they don't really have a clear answer.
Yeah.
So maybe MGM, you want to come on here and let us know what you're offering to get people to come back and trust.
Please let us know. Yeah. Well, it is interesting because I mean, obviously they have to do something, like but I'd be curious. Like, would that work for you, Steve?
I was thinking about this, when hotels are in crisis or something major happens, like we've worked on smaller things where like there's no water, or there's, the power's out or something happens. It's how you recover that really makes a huge difference. And so if you can really recover well, you might gain some new fans. Right?
Yeah.
Just like they teach us in hotels, like when there's a problem, that's the opportunity for you to go above and beyond and make a fan for life.
That's a chapter in my book.
Is it?
It is.
So tell us about it, right? Give us some examples here. But that's what I really shout out to the book. Where we get the book on Amazon, right? Hold it up
you can
again.
get the book on Amazon, Hospitality from Within. You can also get a signed copy at hospitalityfromwithin.com.
I need one for my desk, Sarah.
Oh,
I'm
how do you
gonna
not
have to
have one?
I need to get one. You see, we've been on this show together. We're learning all new things today.
Okay, you send me coffee. I'll send you a book.
Done.
It'll be good times. Oh
but yeah, so how do you recover? Give an example here, right? Because if you were advising MGM, you wrote the book on it. What would you say to do?
Whoa, let's not get
Yeah, but let's say you had a big crisis. You have a lot of upset guests. How could you make an impact?
Yeah, I think what they're doing, truthfully, is the first start. Because they're also offering them free stays, like to come back and have a free stay. I think the big thing, it's not necessarily about the free stuff that you give. It's about the transparency. So I think, and I would hope, I have not been on the receiving side of these emails, is that they would in the email say, unfortunately this happened, and then actually explain what they're doing differently to ensure that this doesn't happen again. So really kind of like detail that out. Yes, do that with points. Yes, do that with whatever. That's fine. But half the time, what I always found is, yes, obviously there's an element of like, okay, do some sort of compensation or some sort of gesture, but it really comes down to the open transparency. And it's like, this is how we're going to do it differently. Because at that point, guests want to feel heard if a mistake happens. They want to feel that they, like, if they're telling you, oh, this did not go the right way, then yes, I hear you. I acknowledge that. And this is how we're going to fix it. So I know that's not like a mind-blowing sort of response, but I think a lot of people want to kind of glaze over problems, and I think if you really address them head on, that goes a really long way for guests.
Yeah, I think keeping it simple is a great way to do it, and just focus on gaining that trust again. And if you're listening live now, what are some things you do now to kind of gain trust back on one-to-one customers, or maybe you've had a big thing that's happened before? We'd love to share that with our audience as we start sharing more content.
Totally. All right. Wow. We've done a lot of talking here. Got a couple more topics. Why don't we switch over and talk some travel topics?
Yes, I love when we do this. I learn a lot from you when we do this.
Oh, well. Okay. So United Airlines, they kind of, announced that they're really double downing on international travel. I personally don't fly United. Sorry, I don't fly United a lot, but they are, as far as the American brands, or the American airlines, US based airlines, I should probably word it that way. They do have, I think, the strongest international options, and but they've been double downing on their international flights. So they just continue to see a strong demand for international travel, like across the board. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, right? I guess maybe that's the business travel starting to pop back up, because
Yeah,
maybe we can tie that to the hotels. Let's make our little hypothesis here.
totally.
But I think, look, more and more people are going to continue to go out of the country. And
Yeah.
I know that there's some flights, and I see Jeremy from Israel commenting
Mm-hmm.
what he's offering. And I know some
Oh,
flights
yeah.
have stopped going there, but he's offering out to get people there, offering 50% discount off nightly rates to try to attract any possible guests, because it's so
Yeah.
difficult there now. And we're wishing you the best, everyone in Israel
Yeah.
and that part of the world. It's a terrible what's going on. So look, the other part that they mentioned in this was, which I'd like to see how this works, is I'm always interested about how people board the planes. And so they
Yes.
said they're going to start to board people by window first, then middle, then aisle. That seems pretty normal. But what if you have a family or kids or you're a couple?
Oh,
Like, I
oh my
got to
gosh.
see you out back.
I did a video on this, and I'm happy to break this down because
Yeah,
I did
break
like
it
a
down
deep
for
dive
it.
into this.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. They used to, like up until 2017, board back to front.
Yes.
Okay. Then in 2017, they switched it front to back because it's a money game. Because people want to pay a premium. Oh, there you go. Sorry, we got my little bubble. It's a money game. The people want to pay a premium to board earlier because so many more people are traveling with carry-on luggage. So that's very, very different way of how people are traveling. Now, what they found is that actually slowed the time. But at that point, it was like, okay, well, we can use the additional revenue. So they were just kind of focused on that. But now in the recent years, with delays and all of this, they're doing anything that they can do to shave off time. So what they've kind of done is this sort of hybrid. And by the way, the window middle aisle way of boarding is actually known as Wilma, which I thought was interesting by those in the industry. So they've kind of combined the two. So obviously first class and group 1 and group 2 will board accordingly because those people have paid a premium to get on the plane earlier. But then group 3 and below, that's where they will kind of do window middle aisle. Now, I got a lot of people questioning on my social, like, well, what about families? Of course, families can board together. I've boarded many times with family members, and we're in completely different classes, or even a friend. I've had a friend they were in first class and I wasn't, but like we got to board the same time. So the point is that that's not a big percentage of the airplanes. So no worries. But they tested it in some big airports already in recent months, and they found that it shaved off 2 minutes of time. So pretty wild, huh?
That's big, especially when you start adding that up, planes and all the traveling going on. All right, so you made me feel better. I thought they'd make my kids wait outside while I sat down and be like, sorry, kid.
No.
And Alexander said Mythbusters also did an episode on plane boarding a while back.
Well, now I need to
watch Alexander, that. Now you got to find a YouTube video for us. Put it in the link here if you can.
I know.
We'd love to see that.
Well, yes, veterans. Jim mentioned veterans and active military always deserve priority, of course. Also, Jim mentioned about Southwest thinking that group boarding is still the best. Well, yes, but you notice too, Jim, is that people can pay a premium to board earlier. Oh, just saying, money talks.
I did see one guy who goes with the sweater, with the hoodie, and puts his hand in the sweater and sits like in the middle.
I saw that. And
Genius
it's like,
guy.
hey, look,
yeah, it looks like a real person
traveling with me. Oh my gosh. Wow, people will do anything. Okay. We'll kind of wrap up a couple of our topics here. Europe. Okay. How many of us remember earlier this summer, a couple of months ago, that they're going to be implementing a new visa program for those traveling to Europe? And basically it's like an electronic way of recording the fact that you are going to be traveling to Europe, and they're going to be charging, it's like an $8 fee, something like that for this visa. This was supposed to launch in 2024, so next summer. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah, they freaked out, I remember.
They did freak out, and I'm like, guys, it's really not that big of a deal. But that's now been postponed to 2025. So
everyone can relax.
a little bit longer. But honestly, uh, I mean, obviously our passports are in the system anyway, but
Mhm.
I don't think that this is necessarily a bad move. And quite frankly, with the amount of people that were traveling to Europe, I mean, the boom in European travel this summer,
It was
like,
crazy. Everybody was there except for me.
and me, I didn't
Oh,
go
okay.
either.
I feel it, but I felt like everyone I
Oh,
knew was there.
everybody I knew. Like I
Summer.
was,
Everyone
yeah.
with Aperol spritzes, with the view of the water in Italy somewhere.
100%. 100%. Oh my gosh. Alexander shared that link. Ooh, love that. So cool. So we'll make
We're gonna
sure
check that out.
we'll definitely check that out. But it is interesting because I don't know. There was a lot of pushback in regards to that. And I don't know. It didn't really
Was it
bother
something
me.
about being tracked more easily? Like, what could it be? Like, why would people freak out? I was looking for that, but I didn't really see
Yeah,
why that bothered so many people.
no, it
But
didn't.
I'm down to pay it. I want to go this coming year.
Yep. Same.
Mhm.
Okay. Last quick topic here. Oh, this won't be very long. This should be an outrageous news segment. This definitely we will categorize under. Yeah, I see you laughing.
Mhm.
So this off duty, I don't know if you guys saw this. This off-duty airline pilot was charged with 83 counts of attempted murder because he was an off-duty airline pilot and he was on an Alaska Airlines flight and he attempted to try to shut off the engines mid-flight. Say what? Is
Yeah.
this not crazy? First of all,
So he
I
was a
have
pilot that got into the cockpit because at first I was like, how does he get in the cockpit? All pilots, I guess, have a little extra seat back there. And so he was able to get in the cockpit. That's how
yeah.
he was up there.
And then like
And then
the
he's had a meltdown and tried to crash the plane, but they fought him off and
home
someone saved everyone's life in there. But that's just crazy to me. See,
homeboy was having a bad day, went on somebody else's flight and was like, I'm gonna crash this with everybody else on here.
yeah,
Come on.
83 other souls, as they would say. They all made it, right? So
They all made it, but that is what I'm curious is to see what they're going to change, if anything, because of this, because that's insane.
we need some self-flying planes. Come on, Elon Musk. We
Oh
need
my
you. You got Sarah's Tesla driving by itself. We need these planes flying by themselves.
Whee! Oh my God, that's so fun. Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I actually do have Zoom in my car. So maybe one day we'll do this.
We'll do this live from your car. I don't
Yeah.
have one. We need to rent one for that day. We'll go on Turo.
Perfect. Oh, well, time for our real-time
Let's
recap.
go. They're gonna kill us with these
Oh,
bells.
I know you guys are
I
gonna
like
hate
them.
us. I'm so sorry. I do. I love them. Do you have a real-time recap from this week,
I
Steve?
do. So my company was one of the companies responsible for setting up all the Live Golf Tournament Championship here in
Mm,
Miami, Florida. They were here for the championship, and I just want to say that golfers, these professional golfers like Phil
yeah.
Mickelson and Dustin Johnson, and some of these best athletes in the world
Mhm.
are just walking around with the fans, and it's just cool to me to see like how genuinely nice they are. It's not like football or basketball or tennis where you're just like in the stands and you can't interact. You're there with them and they're taking selfies and signing
Oh, that's
autographs, and
amazing.
I just saw the kids' eyes, like how like amazed they were that they were meeting these superheroes to them. And so just shout out to them. Great hospitality. I didn't see anyone like, no, I can't sign this or get away from me. Everyone was genuinely nice. So I take that as my hospitality part of the day.
Your hospitality part of the day. Interesting. I'm actually trying to think of one. y- mm, okay, I'll use this as an example. Even though this was going a little bit more personal than I wanted to, but to a reminder that hospitality is not only in hotels or restaurants. Any sort of business that you have that you interact with other people, there's an element of hospitality.
Mhm.
And I had been, for example, I've been living in I'm moving, so that's what, hey, you'll be seeing different backgrounds over the next couple weeks. And I had moved into a building and I felt that they just, every time it just, things fell short and it just felt insincere. I would ask for things, I'd offer to pay extra for things, and I was just kind of like pushed to the side. And I am moving to another place and I've had a completely different experience. And again, it's not necessarily a hotel. No, none of it's not, it's an apartment building.
Yeah, big
But
part of your
just
life though.
100% big part of my life. But the fact that like from day one, like I just, something didn't feel right. And that stuck with me. And even though now they're trying to recover and try to be, oh, well, can we do that? And it's like, you probably shouldn't have been like weird to me at the beginning because I
Mhm.
sensed that and I never could feel totally comfortable because just there were a couple things that happened at the beginning that just didn't sit right with me. So that's just a random thing, that reminder that any business that you have, it doesn't have to be a hotel, it doesn't have to be a restaurant, so long as you are interacting with people, that's the hospitality business. So it really matters and it can make a big difference.
You know where I would like to see more of this? 'Cause
Mm.
I'm gonna keep on this topic. Is that in healthcare, right? So
Oh,
hospitals,
yeah.
doctors, like treat people well. They're there for a
Mhm.
reason to usually feel better. Like there's
Totally.
such a big thing that can be done there. So, for any listeners out there, I'm sure you deal with other things out there too. Let us know
Mhm.
what kind of business or place you would want to see have a little bit more hospitality training like we all have,
Yes, definitely.
because anyone can get better in their business by doing
Oh,
that.
so true. Oh, what is this? Ooh, fly Aer Lingus to Ireland. Noted. I got to go to Ireland. Jim sent that in. Okay, perfect. I love this. Now I'm going to Ireland.
All right, so our hospitality quote,
Yeah,
should I read
perfect.
it?
Yeah, you
All
should
right.
take a
And
deep breath.
hospitality, there's always more to learn. And you're dealing with so many different types of people from all over the world every single day. You'll never know it all, and that can be humbling. But it's also a great opportunity to develop a coach mentality in your management staff. And that is from Dwight Zeringer. Did I say it
Zeringer.
right?
I would
Zeringer?
say Zeringer. I
There
would
we
say
go.
that.
Dwight Zeringer. Great
Um,
quote.
yeah, right. I mean, what I love in that quote is that reminder is that, well, first of all, the number always be learning. I mean, I think that that's the beauty of our industry, is that like no day is the same.
Mhm.
Again, you're interacting with so many different people from all around the world. Every request is different. Every day is different. And how lucky are we that we get to work in an industry where every day is different, because that keeps you on your toes. It keeps your brain nimble. And I guess like this says, it's humbling. Like you never get too comfortable.
Mhm.
I
I
don't
think that's
know.
part of the hospitality addiction that we all have that's worked in it. Like every day's a new challenge. You get
Yeah.
reps in dealing with different kind of people from all over the world. And Kat mentions here that
Oh,
setting the
yes.
table, the book is a really good job on this. I have it actually on my shelf. I'm looking
I
at it
was about
now.
to say, I was like, I feel like I have it somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Danny Meyer.
we have to get Danny Meyer on here too. So Danny, you're coming on next. We have some big
Danny,
guests coming up too. I don't know if we should mention anything yet, but I love who we have coming up soon.
not yet, but in a couple weeks, I think that we should tease, because we do have a couple of really interesting guests coming on. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, again, we are super lucky when what we get, we're in a business where we get to create memories for people. And that you can't, like, money can't buy that.
Mm-mm.
It can
I
pay
love
the
getting
bill.
it. Yes, but I love getting to do it every day, and especially on the show with you, we get to impact so many people. There's so many of you that write us. I love seeing all your notes. I know Sarah does as well. And keep joining us every week,
Yes.
but make sure to subscribe so you get alerted when we're coming on. And if you missed this live, you can always find us on all streaming platforms. Just put in Good Morning Hospitality and you'll find us.
Definitely. And if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening in the hospitality business, as far as venture capital, private equity funding, acquisitions, you name it, head to Good Morning Hospitality. They have the GMC Report, which is pretty neat. So you can go just to the main website. There will be a link there that you can click for that to get to the GMC Report. So you can stay tuned for everything. So, wow, that is it for today's show.
It flew by.
It did. It was a lot of energy today. We brought the
It
energy.
was good. And our bells.
And our bells, by the way. Let us know if you like the bells. I will make sure to try and keep it by my computer for next week when I'm joining from a different location.
Travel around with it and put it on front desks.
I was like, excuse me, sir. I'm just traveling with my bell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, there you go. That's it for our show for this week. Join us next week. And as always, thank you.
Yeah,
So fun.
thank you very much. Have a great week, everyone.